I need you to remember who these people are. I need you to remember that the same people who voted for Donald Trump are the ones who believe that a 4-year-old being pregnant is good. That a 4-year-old being pregnant as a result of being viciously raped by her father is a good thing. That a 4-year-old being pregnant and giving birth is a sign of God's love. These are the same people who walked into a voting booth and voted for Donald Trump. These evangelical, wackadoodle Christians who think that a 4-year-old, did you hear me? A 4-year-old becoming pregnant is a sign of God's love because God is good. All that God touches is good. These are the delusional people that live and walk among us, that get to decide policy, that get to vote for our political change makers. They voted for Donald Trump, and they are now telling you that a 4-year-old being pregnant is a good thing. Never let someone like that question who you are, what you believe, or your morality. Never.
So Canada's retaliation against Trump speaks the only language he understands. Billions of dollars of lost income. So in 2024, Canadians traveling to the United States spent somewhere in the region of $22.8 billion. In 2025, that figure had fallen to $18.8 billion. That's a loss to the US economy of $3.3 billion. Which is massive. The travel boycott is hurting the United States of America. The American Travel Association have said this. Because of the Canadian travel boycott to the United States, they believe that it's likely almost 50,000 jobs have been lost because of the lost tourist opportunities from Canadian travellers. Folks, the source for this is Stats Canada and also the American Travel Association. My name is Nick. Let me know what you think about this in the comments.
What the fuck is wrong with men is all I'm gonna say. Like, I'm really trying so hard to get my life together, and I've been making a lot of progress and I've been doing well. I have a court coming up, so it's been a really tough week. And I haven't been walking because I've been scared, but I made sure I got up this morning and went for a walk with my dog because court's this week and trying to get in the space. So, take my dog for a walk. I have a reactive dog, and sidewalk to sidewalk, we're not that close yet, in terms of him not having a reaction. So I got behind a car so that when a guy went past with his dogs, that my dog wouldn't really see them and I'd be able to manage it better without him having a reaction and setting us back on our training. And then I had to listen to this man go off on a rant about how it's my fault that my dog's like that and all sorts of things. And obviously that didn't deal very well with that, so I cried the whole way home. And then as I was getting up to my building, I was like, okay, I feel better. I'm gonna just go. I've worked today. I gotta smash this shit. I gotta get my shit together. And as I'm walking up to my building, there's a guy who's actually on my floor, on his balcony, yelling, "I love you." And at first, I didn't know what was happening. And then I looked up and I asked him, are you talking to me? And he, froze and didn't say anything. And then when I started walking again, he was like, "I love you." And then I got, obviously I'm sobbing at this point because I already have a stalker in my building. I don't want another one, and he's on my floor. So then I get on the elevator and I'm sobbing the whole time, hyperventilating, sobbing, having a panic attack. And he's, the elevator opens and he's there. He's just, standing there and, trying to engage with me. I can't do this again with another man. I don't want to do this. Why? Why does it have to look like this for women? It's so not fair. It's just not fair. I don't want it. I don't want it. And I'm just why does this happen for women? It's so not fair. I don't want them. I don't want them. I don't want to do this again. It's not fair. I just want to live my life. I'm trying so hard. leave me alone. I can't. Men, what is your problem? Just leave us the fuck alone. We don't want this.
I've done speech comparisons for Donald Trump before, but I've never actually done them within the same speech. Since the State of the Union, now I have a reason to do so. So here is a clip of his speech from the very beginning when he was talking about the gold medal hockey team, men's of course, and then a clip from the very end of his speech when he was ending. Take a listen for the differences.
You're going to win big. You're going to win bigger than ever. And to prove that point, here with us tonight is a group of winners who just made the entire nation proud. The men's gold medal Olympic hockey team. Come on in. Part of every American patriot. And our future will be bigger, better, brighter, bolder, and more glorious than ever before. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
You do not have to be a speech language pathologist like me to determine that there were differences from 0 minutes in to 2 hours in. There was a clear difference in his rate of speech, in his presence, in his voice, in his volume. He had more what we call paraphasias, which was not necessarily shown in this clip, but there were more paraphasias when he would say sounds that he didn't mean. So word like spaghetti might say paschetti. There were more tangents. He went off book way more towards the end of the speech, and you could tell when he was reading and when he was not. So there are clear changes from the beginning to the end. And the reason for that likely has to do with stimulants. It is very likely that Donald Trump took some form of stimulant like Adderall, and he was good to go for the beginning of his speech, but it unfortunately wears off. And this is very clear when you see him declining in not just his speech, but also his ability to hold himself upright. He was gripping the podium to begin with, but then he was leaning on the podium, elbows down, as the speech ended. So his stimulant was basically wearing off. We also saw he initially had a lot of jaw movements that were completely odd, and that tends to be the stimulants were going, and then those jaw movements started declining as his stimulant was wearing off. So here is the first time that I have had to do a same speech comparison, and this man cannot talk for 2 hours and hold it together without the use of drugs. So he's got to go.
Having lived in the United States of America for 11 years now, I've learnt the hard way with something. Certain parts of language, certain words, certain phrases either mean something completely different or don't mean anything at all. Now, there's a new chap who started at my place of work who's English. Yeah, he's English. He's quite posh English. Yeah, Johnny Rog. Okay, Toodle Pip. Excellent. Brilliant. Absolutely. Fantastic. Yeah, wonderful. Quite posh. And he made a double faux pas today. He made a double fuck up. Yeah, he made a double fuck up. The first thing, we've got dogs in our office. It's quite a dog friendly office, although we do try and have a sort of a 4-dog maximum rule, because once, just by chance, most people brought in their dogs, and then suddenly it felt like we were at a dog park rather than at work. And then one dog pooped everywhere, another dog vomited everywhere, and then another dog bit another dog, and I was like, no. So anyway, he made the terrible error of asking an American lady if he could, what am I going to say? He said, "Oh, lovely little thing. Mind if I stroke your dog?" Right, now we know, don't we, Americans? We know that you can't say that in the United States of America. Okay? You have to say, "May I pet your dog? May I pet your dog?" Okay? You shouldn't stroke a dog. Okay? It's rude, quite frankly. And in England, it's just the term. It's just the term for petting. It's stroking. I know. Now I live in America, I appreciate that you can't say that. It's disgusting. Keep your hands off my dog's bits. A little later in the day, he managed another one. He managed another one. And this one I've never thought about before. But I imagine okay, so you know the phrase, Americans, you know the phrase rubbing someone the wrong way. Okay, you see there's a theme here. There's a theme. We're stroking and rubbing, aren't we? I mean, I'm not right now. Anyway, maybe later. He really rubbed me the wrong way, or she really rubbed me the wrong way, or you're really rubbing me the wrong way. Well, guess what the English phrase is? It's going to freak you all out, okay? And he said to this guy, oh, sorry. He said, this is how we say it in England, okay? So he didn't make any mistakes. This is how he said it. He said, sorry, am I rubbing you up the wrong way? You know, we put the word up in there, which suddenly sounds quite disgusting, certainly within the realms of the day he'd had. We say that person's you're rubbing me up the wrong way. You're rubbing me up the wrong way. He said that to an American guy who was sat next to him. This guy literally said, excuse me, rubbing you up? Rubbing you up? What does it mean? That is disgusting. He said, whoa. What do you say? What do you say? We say rubbing. We say, you're rubbing me the wrong way. I'm thinking it's the semantics. But apparently the word up, I think you'll all agree, just by adding in the word up, you're rubbing someone up, aren't you? Just after you've stroked their dog. So, you're fired! That's a fireable offence, I'm afraid, in this office. I thought of a better one, though. I'm just going to see if I can try and add in a new word. Instead of you're rubbing me the wrong way, or in English, you're rubbing me up the wrong way. I thought what could be worse is if you said you're rubbing me off the wrong way. And we really got some problems, haven't we?
Donald Trump isn't going to run for a third term. They're not going to modify the Constitution so that Donald Trump can run a third term. But they are going to get their 3 terms. And this is how I think they're going to do it. In January, right after he passes his 2-year mark, J.D. Vance will declare Donald Trump incapable, and the cabinet will agree, and Donald Trump will be removed and replaced by J.D. Vance. Either that, or they'll off the motherfucker. If J.D. Vance assumes control at 2 years or less, then he can complete that 2 years and still run for 2 more terms. So essentially, he could run for 10 years. Remember, Trump didn't pick J.D. Vance. He had no idea who J.D. Vance was. None of us did. There was no way J.D. Vance was going to be president. So they used Donald Trump as a pawn to get J.D. Vance into office. Why is that important? Because J.D. Vance is connected to the Heritage Foundation. If you don't know this already, look it up. The president of the Heritage Foundation, Kevin Roberts, wrote a book. It's called Dawn's Early Light. Look it up right now on Amazon. You'll see that there are 2 authors listed for this book. Kevin Roberts and J.D. Vance. Because J.D. Vance wrote the foreword for this book. You can actually read it on Amazon. The Heritage Foundation handpicked J.D. Vance to be the future president of the United States. But they couldn't do it on his own. They needed to use Trump as a pawn to get him there. They don't care about Trump. They couldn't care less about that clown, just like the rest of us. And they can't wait for him to be gone. And they're letting him make all of these bad decisions and look like a fucking freak in front of the entire world. And not only that, show that his health is deteriorating, so that come January, February, they will invoke the 25th Amendment on his ass, and he will be replaced by J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance will then be eligible for a 10-year term. And they're going to get exactly what they wanted. Heritage Foundation in control of the White House. This is on Cashy or Polymarket. Put your money on it.
I've had loads of comments to people saying to me about the fact I put a video on recently, and people said, oh yeah, just don't pay the market rent, just, you know, pay 100 quid to your kids. So if you put your house in your kid's name, and they legally own your house because you're thinking that protects it from care fees and inheritance tax, it doesn't. It doesn't at all. That's the worst thing you could have done. And I've had loads of comments in the last 24 hours saying, oh, you don't have to pay the market rent, just pay them 100 quid. Doesn't work like that. If you go into a care home, for example, or if you die, the local authority or the probate office are going to want to see evidence of what they want. And what they want is to see a market rent being paid through a bank account, not cash. You can't just say to the kids, you own my house, so I'm going to give you £100 cash. Doesn't work like that. They can't trace it. They want to trace it. So if your house is 1,500 quid a month, they'll want to see 1,500 quid a month going from your bank account to your children's bank account. That's evidence. But why would you want to do that every month for the rest of your life? That would cost you thousands. It's the worst thing you could do. So think about this. If you own your property and you've transferred it to your kids, if it's a buy-to-let, well, it should trigger a capital gains tax. But if you're still continuing to live in the same property and you've gifted that to your kids, that's what's called a potential exempt transfer, or PET. You've transferred it to your kids, which is fine, but you're still living in the house. It's like a tax fraud. You know, you're saying to the government, oh, I'm going to be dodgy, I'm going to transfer it to my kids, but I'm going to still live here. And the government's going to say, so you want us not to tax your house, you want us not to take it away from you, but you're still living in the same house. They're not stupid. They know all these little loopholes. So all you have to do is transfer the property into a trust. That's all you have to do. Okay? It's about £3,500. Okay? It's a premium. But it works. It works. Because if you go into care for 1 month for one person, that's going to cost you 4 or 5 grand. You times it by 12 months. That's 60 grand a year. So when you could compare 3,500 to 60 grand in a year, it's no comparison. So you just have to transfer it into a trust, and you still own the property, but you own it as a trustee. So on the title deed, it will show trustee Mr. Client, trustee Mrs. Client. Okay, you can still live in the property, you can still put it to your kids when you die, but they can't take it away. Okay, if anyone's interested in that process that does work, please let me know.
Hello and good afternoon. Listen. Now, I know by now y'all done heard that Sid and his family have been debanked, right? From Capital One Bank. Now, I ain't never heard of being debanked. Like years and years ago, you know, when I was a struggling single mother, I done had an account closed because it stayed in overdraft for too long. But you know, we done come past that. But so apparently, Sid and his family had originally sued Capital One because they said that Capital One was discriminating against conservatives. But that's not what I want to talk about, and y'all already know. Capital One said, we don't discriminate against conservatives. We close your accounts because you money laundering, bitch. Them people said you had over 300 accounts. And therefore, it flagged in their systems because the way y'all was moving money around was suspect. Now, what I really want to know is, had they not bothered them people, would them people had left them alone? Because I don't understand. Why is it every time Sid and his children and his minions all decide to sue somebody, they forget that there's a thing called discovery? So now you got to prove. You got to prove the discrimination. Them people said, it ain't got nothing to do with your politics. It's got everything to do with how you moving this money, bitch. And it's giving money laundering. It's giving money laundering. That's it. That's it. I love this for them. I love it. And you know what else I love? I love that these banks and these schools and these lawyers and all these reporters, all these people are finally getting tired and are finally standing up and saying, bitch, what the fuck, bitch, what? That's what they saying. Okay, that's it. I love this. I love it. I love it. Yeah, make sure y'all, make sure y'all keep up with your bank accounts. Don't get debanked. Okay.